Our final fundamental is using summative assessment in a formative way. So depending on how your assessment is built up, so I know for some of us, we have to give really big final summative assessments. One thing that I do, which I count as summative, are class tests every 2 to 3 weeks. But we can use these to really help students learn from their mistakes and work on their corrections. So the key elements of this are rework. So for example, if you've given a test and we know that a lot of students have got a certain question wrong, we can use that as our stimulus for our next class. And so within that, there's different ways to help students think about that information. So one way is using think, pair, share. So you could use that question that students got wrong as your starter activity, where they can think of the solution individually, then they can pair up, and then share a model solution for that. And hopefully using combined knowledge and those social skills, students can then finally resolve it. You can also use the visible thinking toolkit where there's a lot of information about this. So for example, in mathematics, one thing that I really enjoy is that if many students get the same question wrong, I'll post it on the board the next class, and then get them to work in groups of 3 or 4 on big whiteboards where they can try and justify their answer. And that way I can go around and see where they made a mistake. And that way I'm using students to help share that knowledge. And one other thing that I think is quite important for some of us, depending on what we teach, is also through that use of metacognition, is also helping students with exam strategies. This year I'm teaching IB, and I think for me, one of the biggest challenges is getting students used to an IB examination and all the techniques that come with that. So I think that's one of the things that we can reflect on when we're using the formative assessment from a summative assessment to work on students' metacognition abilities as well.